Tonight on Business Live, Group Indoom fights off US-based Birim Group LLC's claims of $63 million money laundering and wire fraud. We have more. Also, Ghana Revenue Authority to auction properties of some oil marketing companies to defray outstanding debt.
Santor Limited, that is owing 57,398 Ghana cedis, 141 Ghana cedis, 90 pesos. Life Petroleum is owing 1,149,946 Ghana cedis.
Plus, the National Petroleum Authority moves to check illegal sale of fuel on the market as it introduces remote surveillance systems to monitor the various service stations.
Some people, they want to just go straight to the price, and knowing that Ghanaians are people
price sensitive.
They just want to go with that, and they come in with all manner of illegal products and ways and means to be able to get the cut the overheads in such a way that they can make sure that the price is cheaper everywhere. And that's what we want to gather again.
And these are our top stories on Business Live. We have more after this break. Hello, welcome. My name is Charles Aite. To our top story, Group Indoom is fighting off the US-based Birim Group's LLC's claim of money laundering and wire fraud. The group has described the argument advanced by the plaintiffs as one full of aspersions and innuendos. It has therefore filed a motion to dismiss the case. Now, the US-based Birim Group LLC has brought charges against the founder and former flag bearer of the Progressive People's Party, Dr. Papakwesi Indoom. In a red side by My Jaw Online, Group Indoom is being accused of laundering a total of $63 million. Here's a statement by Birim. The fact that the Indoom family defendants through their ownership, control and use of Dependence GN Bank, Gold Coast Fund Management, and over 60 undercapitalized interrelated companies collected several $1 million of depositors' saving, investment and contributions and insurance premiums, and in violation of US and Ghana laws illegally laundered approximately $63 million of depositors' funds through its Virginia-based sham procurement and consultant service company, International Business Solutions. It stated in its claim against Group Indoom. But tonight we have a rebuttal from Group Indoom. And of course, let's bring you that particular rebuttal. It says that it describes the suit as an attempt to denigrate their reputation through the courts. Birim's Group LLC's complaint, it reads, misuses this court to smear a Ghanaian entrepreneur and political leader, Dr. Papakwesi Indoom, founder of the Ghana Progressive People's Party. Birim Group itself is a murky LLC whose members the complaint does not identify. It does not claim to have had any dealings with Dr. Indoom or the other defendants. Rather, Birim Group claims to have paid for the claims of 2 Ghanaian citizens. We shall be keeping a close eye on how this pans out in court way back in the United States to give you updates as and when we do have them. But to other stories, the Minister for Finance, Ken Oforiatta, has clarified the operations of the yet-to-be-created Development Bank of Ghana. According to him, this will not be a deposit-taking bank to mobilize funds from individuals, but will rather be made to lend to institutions providing support for key sectors of the economy, especially in the agri, real estate and other social sectors of the economy. The minister addressed the media at a short briefing in Accra.
Agriculture and manufacturing sector receive around 4% and 8% respectively of banks' loans compared to their shares in GDP and employment and potential for driving economic transformation. Primary focus areas of DBG will be agribusiness with a focus on off-farm value chain activities, manufacturing, ICT software and allied services, including business process outsourcing and tourism, boosting home ownership through affordable and longer tenure mortgage finance, infrastructure financing, which is key, and essentially we are going to leverage our public resources for private sector financing. DBG is not similar to the existing commercial banks that we have in the country. It is a non-deposit taking wholesale bank. DBG will neither give retail nor direct business loans at the former Bank for Housing and Construction, NIB, ADB, and the like. It will rather provide funds to the existing commercial banks and non-bank financial institutions which qualify to provide long-term lending and other innovative products that are presently lacking in the system. The bank will therefore complement and strengthen the operations of existing financial institutions. It is important to state that since independence, this is the first time we're establishing a bank of this nature. It is a model along the lines of the German Development Bank, KfW, which played a pivotal role in the post-World War II reconstruction and transformation of the German economy. And I believe that the destruction that the COVID has done to Ghana and other African countries, this is the type of intervention that is required.
Meanwhile, Mr. Forex says government will ensure local entrepreneurs get more support from the creation of the National Development Bank. He told journalists that government intends to dilute its stake in the bank at a later date when more private sector players get on board.
Private sector is lending to. Certainly we'll have money in there, but soon you begin to see a dilution of government shareholding in such a way that that entity on its own is able to go to the capital markets without adding a burden to the country. So the more such independent institutions you create, of which then lend on market basis or ensure that it is governed properly, reduces our participation, in that. So that's really what we are looking to do. With regards to local content, I think usually you have influence when you have resources in financial institutions, and so we would insist on ensuring that Ghanaian entrepreneurs are the people that these financial institutions and banks will look to for such things. And that's the whole thing about ensuring that this development, is also dictated by strengthening of indigenous entrepreneurs, as you see in Asia. And therefore, the interventions of companies like this, banks like this, will help, our local banks to be discriminatory and promotional of Ghanaian enterprises. In the end, we have to build, our own country, and this will be one way of supporting access to capital and also hopefully at lower rates.
Now, banks are cautious of giving out loans to farmers due to the inherent risks in the agri sector. According to banking consultant Nana Otuo-Champon, farmers rely largely on natural factors to grow their produce. Hence, loan repayments are delayed when there is change in climate. It is for this reason that he revealed the setup of a Ghana incentive-based risk-sharing system for agri lending as a guarantee for banks.
No bank has their own money. It is depositors' money that is to be lent. And therefore, at the core of every lending is the risk of repayment not being met. And agri is such a risky endeavor. You grow crops, and then they don't do irrigation. They depend on nature, so it doesn't rain. And so the investment that has gone in the agri goes down the drain. That has been the main reason why agri farmers have been having difficulty in accessing loans. Now, being aware of this, the World Bank undertook a project to assist especially agri developing countries, including Ghana, to come up with a scheme where farmers will be able to access loans at at a rate that the risk will be reduced. So Ghana in 2019 formed a private company under what you call the Ghana incentive-based risk-sharing system for agri lending. So if the farmers will do the right thing, that if they want whatever crop they want to plant, they have to study and know the seasonal pattern that they for that crop, and then once they are able to do that, they will be able to get the loans that they require from.
Now, the Ghana Revenue Authority will have no option than to auction properties belonging to some oil marketing companies for failure to honor outstanding levies and taxes collected on behalf of the state. According to the GRA, these companies have a 10-day ultimatum to repay the debts accumulated for several years. The Debt Management and Enforcement Unit of the GRA has undertaken an operation to recover the debt. We have more in this report.
The action by the Ghana Revenue Authority is aimed at getting all oil marketing companies to pay back levies and taxes charged on every litre of fuel sold to consumers. After the operation by the team, all defaulting companies locked up by the GRA have an ultimatum of 10 days to pay a reasonable part of the debt or risk having their properties auctioned to defray the debt. Here is Chief Revenue Officer Nathaniel Ni Okan explaining the process.
For now, as and when we see it, the 10 days starts from today. Once it is attached, the 10 days starts from today. So if after 10 days, these ones are auctioned, and we see, and Ghana Revenue Authority has not recovered all the money, wherever we see or we get any asset, it will also be attached, auctioned until we are able to recover that amount. The arrangement you should do should be satisfactory to Commissioner General, and that is one of options available to those indebted to Ghana Revenue Authority to pay their taxes. It is relaxed sometimes if you are in difficulty. Come and explain yourself and how you will pay, and it should be satisfactory. It is not that you owe and you give Ghana Revenue Authority between 5 to 10 years. That means it seems you don't want to pay.
Mr. Okan used the occasion to break down the debt owed by the defaulting OMCs and the accumulated period.
Santor Limited, that is owing 57 million 398 Ghana cedis, 141 Ghana cedis, 90 pesos. Then we have Grid Petroleum, that is owing 1,253,969 Ghana cedis. Life Petroleum is owing 1,149,946 Ghana cedis, 78 pesos. Sawiz Petroleum, 5,122,387 Ghana cedis, 20 pesos. And we have Sonidom, where we are now. Sonidom is owing 862,702 Ghana cedis, 13 pesos.
At Soweto in Accra, the Sawiz Petroleum filling station escaped the action due to a transfer of ownership letter approved by the National Petroleum Authority to new managers.
Meanwhile, the GRA has served notice that fuel stations operating outside Accra will not be left out in its enforcement exercise if they fail to honor their tax obligations. According to the GRA, its operations to recover all petroleum taxes and levies is not limited to oil marketing companies alone. Speaking to Joe Business, head of Debt Management and Enforcement Unit of the GRA, Nathaniel Ni Okan, explains that the levies do not belong to the companies but the state and must be returned accordingly.
No, for now, some of them don't have, some of the oil marketing companies don't have their stations, fuel stations in Accra. Some are in the central or the other regions. So we'll be going after them. And it will not be imperative because for now, they may settle the amounts before we get to. So for now, we've taken them out. For now, the ones that we are using, we are tracing. Those are the information I have here from the Commissioner General that I can share with you. But for the others, as and when we trace them, you can contact Ghana Revenue Authority and we'll give you details. So the petroleum prices that we see has the element of a profit element that goes to the company, oil marketing company. And these taxes are that accrue to the state and which is collected by Ghana Revenue Authority. But for any reason which is best known to the oil marketing companies, they sell the petroleum products, take their profit margins and add government revenue or the taxes and then the levies on them. So we can't explain the reason why they do so.
It's still watching Business Live. We're taking a short break. We'll be right back to stay. And those were summaries of international business news. Back to other stories. Locally, service stations of oil marketing firms will no longer be able to sell illegal and adulterated fuel on the market. Now, this is because the National Petroleum Authority is set to introduce a remote surveillance system to track the volumes and quality of fuel sold to consumers. The initiative has been influenced by the high level of smuggled fuel sold on the market. The state is said to be losing over 3 billion cedis in taxes each and every year. Speaking on PM Express, the business edition, the chief executive of the Association of Oil Marketing Companies, Kweku Ajimandia, says this should bring some sanity into the industry.
The price has to be right for the right products and get it at the right time. And getting the price right, a lot of ingredients which goes in getting the price right. Hence the quality, the safety, the environment issues. And there are some people, they want to just go straight to the price, and knowing that Ghanaians are people
price sensitive,
they just want to go with that. And they come in with all manner of illegal products and ways and means to be able to get the cutting overheads in such a way that they can make sure that the price is cheaper everywhere. And that's what we want to guard against.
I know you want to look at the regulator playing a critical role, but what has also happened more to the peer protection, if I could use that expression, of the association, where we are a club where we aspire to certain principles.
Exactly.
If one member is going against that principle, what stops the other members from calling him or her out that this is not what we stand for? And some are saying that maybe all of you in the public space, it's good, everybody's trying to be Mr. Right, but behind the scenes, there are a lot of you guys who are in the same soup.
Yeah, I mean, we look for collective interest. A collective interest in a rather viable and fair manner, you know. And where we find ourselves now, we realize that some few members are misbehaving.
Are there only few you say that? Or a lot of them are doing
we are 116 OMCs.
As we stand right now.
116 OMCs. So my calculation is about 14 of them. So that makes it relatively few in terms of percentages. But we really want to be sure that they really understand what they are doing. And sometimes we look at the situations and we become certain of what is going to happen. So we try to nip in the bud. Association stand firm on our feet that this is what we stand for. We don't stand for, supporting people in the illegal way.
Now, less than 2% of the 15 million female population in Ghana is involved in forex, mostly privately. Now, this follows research conducted by the United Nations Development Program as well as the Women in Forex, a forex association of the professional forex financial market analysts in Ghana and across West Africa. The report shows that even though online forex trading has expanded economic independence for many Africans, women are mostly marginalized in this front. This, according to the report, poses threats to achieving the SDGs to women empowerment, reduce poverty and unemployment, and create career opportunities. Gifty Anosika Santua is the president of the Women in Forex and Forex Financial Market Analyst.
Most women and most people in West Africa, Ghana especially, are not privy to information and then are ignorant of the sector in general, in terms of research, in terms of the opportunities it brings. Majority of the little people that are in there are also being more like indecisive because they think it's gambling, it's too risky, and it's more like a black market area to venture in. So it makes it unattractive for people to even venture at all.
Interesting, but it's so startling, the fact that 1 in every 200 online forex trader is female. What could be accounting for this, even though you've mentioned the fact that most of them have little information about the facts and they have this skewed perception about it being a black market? What do you think is also further accounting to this trend?
Lack of technical know-how will be the basic reason for that, because there's a huge gap between our traditional educational system and the digitalized skill. And forex trading is a digitalized skill, and then there's a huge gap. The disparity between our education is huge. So those people that are even interested are not able to venture because they don't they know how to go about it. And most of the time they end up being duped or they end up losing a lot of money.
Interesting. Well, the report is further warning that this development poses threats to achieving the SDGs to empower women, reduce poverty and unemployment, and create career opportunities. How can this be resolved, Gifty?
In my opinion, I would say formalization and regulation will give it some sort of credibility in the society, and then people will start to know that it's a very legitimate and legal sector to be indulged in, first of all, and then technical know-how, advocacy, and then training.
The Ghana Federation of Forest and Farm Producers says access to credit has become a major challenge for its members since the cleanup of the financial sector. According to the Secretary General of the Federation, Mark Kebo Akboribo, the government must roll out a different stimulus package targeting smallholder farmers to revamp the operations. He was speaking at the Ghana Federation of Forest and Farm Producers National Dialogue Series.
The National Dialogue Series by the Ghana Federation of Forest and Farm Producers was themed Smallholder Forest and Farm Producers, Key Agents for Delivering Sustainable Development Goals in the context of green recovery. At the forum, President of the Federation, Abdurrahman, appealed to government to increase subsidy on fertilizers and seeds for food security.
The COVID-19 has affected our activities, so much increasing cost of farm inputs, and if government do not support us, the food security situation in 2022 will not be good. For this reason, I want to make the following demand on behalf of GAFAP to government. We want government to increase subsidy on fertilizer and seed. Number 2, we want government to support with mechanization services, including harvesters, combined harvesters.
Also, Secretary General of the Federation, Makebo Akparibo, called on government to roll out a different stimulus package targeting smallholder farmers to revamp their operations. According to him, access to credit has become a major challenge for members since the cleanup of the financial sector.
But one of the things we realized was that the conditions or the terms of the stimulus package was more skewed towards the trader level businesses rather than the production level businesses who are the forest farm producers at the base. And so we are calling on government to have a special stimulus package that addresses the concerns of smallholder forest and farm producers in a bid especially to ensuring food security, because food security is a major concern in this country. But financing has been a huge challenge because one of the things was the banking sector cleanup. Our members were usually people who would save in the microfinance institutions and other financial institutions that are based especially in the districts and in our communities. And when the cleanup occurred, especially of the microfinance institutions, most of our members who are also involved in village-based saving schemes had monies locked up in these financial institutions. It was a huge challenge.
And that's how we end this edition of Business Life. My name is Charles Aite. For more news, you log on to myjoyonline.com. Many thanks for watching. Have a good evening.